South Africans suddenly find themselves cut off from the world.
My fear currently is travel restrictions, because that's a huge part of my job. So for me, it's the implications this is going to have, to move around for work.
It's really concerning, and the fact that at the moment
It's gonna go to shut down for reals now.
on the market, nobody knows if actually they're going to be effective against this variant or not. It's really worrying for me.
Since the UK announced its travel ban, many other countries have followed suit. South Africa's government says they acted too quickly.
The reaction of some of countries in terms of imposing travel bans and such measures are completely against the norms and standards as guided by the World Health Organization. The UK simply went ahead and imposed the restrictions without even engaging us. So that was basically national action.
As quickly as the travel restrictions were announced, they are more likely to slow down rather than completely stop the spread of Omicron. Dutch health officials fear that dozens of COVID-infected passengers who arrived in Amsterdam on Friday might also be infected with the new variant. Hong Kong, Israel, and Belgium have already confirmed cases.
Oh, wow. Fuck yeah.
The world has made progress in the fight against the coronavirus, but the new variant shows that the battle is far from won.
Oh, wow.
The message for now from many officials: get the vaccine, get the booster, and follow public health regulations.
I'm talking to Kai Kupferschmidt now. He's a molecular biologist and science journalist.
You better fucking bring
Kai,
unemployment
in a
back.
nutshell, what's the main difference between Omicron and the variants we already know about?
Well, it's not that easy to pinpoint, actually. I mean, we have to realize that at the moment, we really only have two things to go on. We have what's happening in South Africa, where this virus, for the moment, it looks like is replacing Delta. That suggests that it might spread faster than Delta or better than Delta or reinfect people better. We don't know that yet. It's just one spot, but that's the one thing.
Better?
The other thing is the genome. And the genome of this virus is quite unusual. I mean, it has a lot of the same mutations that we've seen in Alpha, in Beta, in Delta, so some of the variants of concern that we've seen. But it also has a lot of other mutations, some of which, science that was done already a year ago showed would be very concerning because they might make the virus better at escaping immunity. So at the moment, we really have two really, really big red flags, let's say. But certainly we're going to have to wait the next days and weeks to find out, which of these fears are actually going to be true or any of them.
We still have a lot more to learn, clearly, but let me ask you this. Is it likely that Omicron's roots are, in fact, in South Africa? Or is it more likely that the South Africans test more and therefore have discovered now for a second time a new variant?
Well, South Africa clearly is the country on that continent that tests the most widely. It has a very good surveillance network. And I think the South African scientists have done outstanding work here. And they went public very early with this when they had just 100 genomes, because they knew that it was very important in this situation to get the news out fast so that people could prepare for what might come. But, travel restrictions, what's happening at the moment, we can't be 100% certain that this came from South Africa. Certainly, you would expect it to maybe be in neighboring countries. The virus was also picked up in Botswana. Which is why some of the travel restrictions have targeted a broader area. But travel restrictions come at a high cost. And most importantly, they do create a disincentive for countries to even announce or even look for new variants. So we have to be very careful with this. We are not going to be able to stop this virus with travel restrictions. I think that's very clear. We might be able to slow it down. You can make the case for these travel restrictions.
Yeah.
And we really should be using the time that we gained with these travel restrictions to do something.
I've been saying it. That's the next thing. Zombies are next.
We're not even in Germany, for instance.
Next thing you see some motherfucker right here just running up and biting the shit out of your neighbor or something.
We've already seen
some crazy shit.
Waiting to get bashed in the
could vaccines be even less effective with Omicron?
Not even lying, eh? It's gonna happen. Let's get it together, people.
At the current point, I think it's
speculation.
Come on, look at the
right, Josh?
There clearly are signs that are very concerning, and the experts that I've talked to that have looked at antibody neutralization from different viruses.
Oh, never mind. I got
All
the fucking
suspect
people
that this
going
virus
marbles.
might
That would-
be a little bit more difficult for vaccine-induced immunity or
Fuck
natural
yeah.
immunity to combat. That doesn't mean it's
Fucking
not
live
a
on
black and
YouTube,
white thing.
shit.
It doesn't mean that immunity suddenly goes away. But there is a big chance, I would say, that we will find out that the vaccines are slightly less effective against this variant. But we're going to have to wait for the experiments to be done. That takes 1 or 2 weeks. So
Bro, it has
hopefully
to
in 2
do
weeks
with
we will
the
know
vaccine.
this, but certainly we have to prepare for the possibility. And even if it's not true for this variant, we have to prepare for the possibility that other
Facts.
variants will come.
We
And
got
it
my
will
phone earlier,
happen
then we
sooner
got
or
the
later.
fucking javelin.
We
So
have
we're
to
good.
leave it there, I'm afraid.
That
We
shit
could
doesn't
talk
even
to you
shoot
all
nothing.
day. Molecular biologist and
javelin and the
journalist
bow and
Kai
arrow.
We don't even got arrows for the
Many, many
javelin.
thanks.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's what never brought him back.
Well, he didn't have
Let's
it.
bring in
Said he
DW
had
correspondent
some. Oh, did he?
Adrian
That's where we
Krish
got it.
in Cape Town. Adrian, more and
Oh,
more
okay. But I thought he
countries
That's
said
the
he
reason.
didn't have
That's the
it.
reason why we got it.
travel
He
from
said he
South
had one or
Africa. How
two,
concerned is the
and he
government
said he had a
virus?
bunch of other ones.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, now I remember.
Well, the
And
government
he never
here
brought
also
that one. And I
concerned,
told him the
Michael,
other day
President Cyril
when he came with the
Ramaphosa
tools.
announced that there will be
No,
a
he-
national Corona
He
Council
hasn't brought
meeting
back my
on
fucking
Sunday, so
tools out of that
possibly
bar
more
or that
restriction
fucking
within
table
South
saw yet.
Africa are
And I've
also
been
on the
hitting him up,
table. You have to recall that
and now
in
he's
the past
completely
weeks the
ignoring me.
numbers of new infections
I
were
told him, I
very
said,
low
look,
here,
dude, I
so
don't
life
think,
got
I don't know how you
almost
think you
back
can just
to
fucking
normal,
keep
I would
dogging me
say.
out like
And
that.
earlier this month there were new infections rates of about 100 a day.
He's
In the
still
past
ignoring
days
me,
it
so
went up
I'm
significantly
gonna
low
message him
to
right now.
above
All right, dude, I've been nice to you. I've been
2,500 new
patient.
infections a day, and
But
scientists
now
here
you're
are saying
completely
this
ignoring me. That's
is
way
the start of
disrespectful.
the
So,
fourth wave in South Africa. If it is driven by the new variant is
yeah.
not clear. It's also not clear
How
how
you
bad it
my
is
enemy.
going to be. Some are arguing it might be not that bad
Tell
because
her to
it's
bring that
summer here
shit.
at the moment. But what is quite clear also is that South Africa
Tell him,
can't
hey, my homie
really
said to bring his shit,
count on
eh?
its vaccination program because of very
I let
low
you borrow it, and he
vaccination
was right
rates.
there that
Less
day,
than
and he said, "Yeah, remember?"
25% of South Africans are vaccinated. There's massive vaccine hesitancy.
So he wants his shit.
And of course, I imagine the news about travel bans hasn't been received very well there. No, absolutely. Especially among
Straight
the
up.
scientists who
Hey,
discovered
Josh,
this
you're
new
right about that,
variant.
though.
One of the leading researchers basically said the world should show
oh, I
solidarity
said, oh, and
instead
where are
of
my tools that I let
isolating
you
these
borrow in the
countries
table
now.
saw? I told you a while
here
ago I
in
need
South
the welding
Africa
guns
and
and
also
whatnot because I
globally,
have
they're
some
praised for their
welding stuff.
transparency,
You
but
keep
now many
blinking on
people
me,
here have the
bringing it
feeling
back
they're
to me.
getting
And
punished
that's
for
not
that.
cool,
And
man. It's
another
starting to
scientist
irritate
even
me.
argued,
And it seems like you
even
think
said it
I'm
is
just some
naive
punk
to
you can
believe
keep
that
dogging
these
out.
travel
And I'm
bans
not.
can really stop the virus from spreading. According to him,
He
if
didn't
there's
say
anything
anything
that
to me.
this
I said,
pandemic
dude,
has
get
shown
back at
is
me
that the
ASAP. I'm
virus will
telling you
still
right now, I'm
continue
not
to
the one
spread
you
and
want
to
on your.
travel with this
You
variant.
don't want to be
Unless
on my
you're an
bad
island,
side.
you will not be able to stop it. And of course, this
So
will
I
have
didn't mess
massive
you back at all. So
consequences for the South African
that was
economy.
Sunday.
And
So
many
just
people here
yesterday.
feel it's like a deja vu of sort of what
He
happened
just keeps
about
totally
a
fucking
year ago
ignoring me,
when the
dogging
beta
out. Like I'm
variant was
some
discovered
bitch.
here in South
And I'm not
Africa
gonna
by
do
South
anything about it.
African
Pretty
scientists.
much, right?
Although up until now it is not clear if it really
That's what I'm getting out of
originated here, but the consequences were harsh. We saw back then also travel bans from
So,
many countries. The
yeah,
tourist
I'm
arrivals went down. It has
gonna try
had
to
a
be nice to
massive
him and shit.
impact
I'm just
on
gonna beat his
the
ass.
economy, and this is very likely what we're going to see again. Now, the tourism sector will suffer a lot here
Right.
just when the season has started again. Yesterday, I went to a local tourist
I mean,
market
you
here where
just being
people are selling
disrespectful and
souvenirs, and the sellers, they are devastated. One man told me he doesn't
For what?
know how to put food on the table for his kids
Hold
if
on.
no tourists are coming. Deja vu for South Africa. That's DW's Adrian Krish in Cape Town. Many thanks.
Hold on.
Here's some other developments in the pandemic. The Netherlands has again tightened restrictions. Bars, restaurants, and non-essential shops must close by 5 p.m. Canada is to criminalize anti-vaccination protests outside hospitals and clinics. The crackdown comes after medical staff were harassed at work.